With that, let's move on and talk about our own markets, all of the cues that you should watch and the individual stocks as well. We have Ekta, Vivek as well as Nigel joining us now with the trade setup. I'm sorry, Ekta, Surbhi and Nigel are joining us now. Guys, a very good morning to all of you. Ekta, let me come to you first. We saw that complete wild last hour sort of situation for our own markets yesterday, but take us through what we should watch today.
Thanks for that. Well, in fact, 2 consecutive days where we've seen a last hour surge for our markets, and we had that yesterday as well, where the markets did close at an over 1 month high. The mid-cap index posted yet another record close. We had the Nifty bank, which gained around 460 points plus, and the likes of Larsen and Toubro, which surged to record highs as well. Now, the markets have shrugged off concerns with regards to higher crude prices, FII outflows, higher global treasury yields as well. Now, this morning, we wake up to cues where the US markets closed mixed. We have Asia, which is weak. The Japan GDP was lower than estimates. Hong Kong is closed for the first session on account of a storm. We have Brent crude, which has corrected a little bit, so it's below $90 per barrel. All this will probably bode well for us, and the GIFT Nifty is indicating a positive start. We have the FII outflow, which was lower as well, 758 odd crores, and DII's net bought around 28.1 crores. Just want to put it into perspective that FIIs have already sold more than $1 billion this week itself, but they sold less than what they have sold in the previous 3 trading sessions, which were on an average of around 2,700 odd crores. Now, in terms of cues, we do have the G20 summit, which kicks off today. So that will be the most important to watch out for in terms of sentiment, what we could expect in terms of an overall view coming in from Delhi. Also, we have the RBI review of the ICRR, the incremental cash reserve ratio. CNBC-TV18 poll indicates 50% see RBI reducing the ICRR to 5%, 20% see it being fully removed, 30% see it entirely retained.
All right, Ekta, thanks a lot. That is going to be a big cue for us to all watch for. But with that, let's also talk about the individual stocks that are in focus. Surbhi is here with the entire list of stock-specific news that really came through. Surbhi.
Thanks so much for that. So the first one is Landmark Cars. The company signs a letter of intent with M&M for opening dealerships in West Bengal. Sterlite Tech, the company partners with True Vista to drive growth and enhancement of South Carolina's rural connectivity infra. Masgaon Dock, the company signs a master ship repair agreement with the US government. Campus Activewear, the Piyush Singh resigns as the Chief Operating Officer. JB Chemicals, Lakshay Kataria resigns as the CFO of the company with effect from November 30th, 2023. And lastly, TV18 will also be on our radar. Viacom 18 got the media rights for ISL for the next 2 seasons.
All right, Surbhi, thanks a lot for that entire list of stocks. Let's also talk about how things are looking on the future side. So Nigel is here with all of the cues. Nigel, it's been a good week so far for our own markets, but take us through what we should watch.
Well, that's right. It's been a good week, Pavitra, and who would have thought with elevated crude oil prices, the higher US yields as well, and the stronger dollar. But this market refuses to buckle down. And I made this point a couple of days ago that the Nifty bank has been underperforming, but maybe its time has come, provided it holds on to lower levels. And if you look at the intraday chart yesterday, both the Nifty bank as well as the Nifty ended higher, and that was courtesy the Nifty bank. And in terms of open interest, well, we saw a fair bit of shedding. So that's the reason why, in fact, we did see that the Nifty ended higher. A couple of cautious points that are coming in there. You had the Nifty ended higher, but the India VIX was mildly higher. But I don't think it's a big cause of concern because, in fact, we're seeing that the India VIX is trading at historic low levels. So that's why a bit of a bounce out there. The other factor we look at is the PCR. The PCR has moved to around 1.4 odd, so it's moving towards the higher end of the band. Remember, the band has been 0.7 on the downside to around 1.5 odd. But I think going by the kind of momentum we've seen on the index, well, I think you'll have to ignore both these 2 cautious points and continue to remain net long on the index. What do the FIs do? Well, they added close to around 9,000 long contracts. They covered close to 8,000 short contracts. So the swing factor out there is close to around 17,000 contracts. So just going by that. And the long positioning now has gone to around 57%. The long positioning, it's the highest we have seen in the last few months, so just keep an eye out on that. On the strikes, well, the 19,600 put, that was fairly active. The premium was there roughly around 50 rupees. And it seems, the bullish sentiment is prevailing because some out-of-the-money call buying is happening. 20,000 is what the bulls want, and that's why, in fact, we did see some bit of buying out there. Which brings us to the level. Since the 19,600 put was getting written, well, on the downside, we're looking at around 19,550. The 50 DMA as well comes in at around 19,500. So that's a crucial support zone. On the Nifty bank as well, we'll have to keep an eye out there because it's been doing quite well. I think on the upside, 45,100, that's the important mark. That's the near-term resistance zone. While on the downside, it's defended the recent close out there. For starters, the GIFT Nifty was suggesting a bit of a positive start, 20 points higher. So I think you need to continue to buy the dip and continue to ride on the long side. Back to you.
All right, Nigel, thanks a lot for taking us through all of those cues. That is how the setup is looking this morning as we get into this trading session. But with that, we are going to get into our first break on the show. On the other side, like we've been telling you, the prep work is underway for the G20 summit that begins tomorrow. So we're going to bring you all of the updates on that front when we come back.